All right, so as we start working our way around in here, my reflection, nope. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV. My first time covering a 211 Apex. It's a newer floor plan, and it is dynamite. A lot of guys make a floor plan like this, and what I think is kind of cool is there are certain times when a manufacturer's not the first one to make a layout. They have a chance to really kind of lean over their desk and cheat off of someone else's test, basically. And I kind of feel like that's what they did here, but I mean that in one of the best ways possible. Apex is one of those brands that is simple where it should be and fancy where it could be, and they really applied that to this layout. Like, they gave us awesome kitchen counter space and an elevated little breakfast bar, sort of like a Cougar, but they thought about actually including the bar stools. We've got a theater seat here where you can kick your feet up and enjoy a great setup entertainment center, a true queen bed with awesome storage below. This has double azdel walls, and something I recently learned, it is not just the side walls, but the rear wall as well on this is azdel on the inside and outside layering, which, along with the fact that this is almost completely laminated and aluminum framed, keeps the weight on this RV down. It's only 26 feet. This is a fantastic option for half-ton towing. I think that this is one of those really sweet, like, true couples campers, where if you're like, I'm not really concerned about having a bunch of guests over, this is a model for you. Now, theoretically, I'm sure you could outfit this with a hide-a-bed instead of a theater seat, but I think if I was looking for a more couples camping situation, this is how I would do it. But what I love is they didn't squish it down too much where the bed meets, like, the kitchen area. It is small, it is light, yet it is open, and it is expansive. I think they really nailed this thing, and I would like to hear from you guys as we go. Tell me the one area you think they really nailed it when we're all said and done, and tell me one thing that you would change given the opportunity, and let's get going. So I want to put you in the driver's seat. We're actually sitting in the slide in the theater seating right now to kind of give you, the full initial look around here. And, I wish I'd have done this a long time ago, because I've really learned when you sit down in these things, you kind of see them a little bit differently. And this thing feels so open and expansive because I've got windows behind me. I got windows beside me. I've got windows straight across from me. It doesn't have a full viewing window in the entry door, but at least it does have a window with a frosty glass for, for lighting to come through. And in case you're curious, you're thinking, well, could you swap that out to one that's clear? Yeah, you could. You could do that. They just don't do it from the factory. I've seen that done aftermarket, though. But, man, it opens right up in here. Like, when I hear 26 feet, when I see this kind of weight, I don't imagine this kind of sense of space. The entertainment center here doesn't suck. Now, it does kind of overlap with the dining a little bit. And that's the thing. I'm going to show you where this RV is really awesome, and I'm going to show you where maybe it's not the perfect fit for you. I like to try to give you that, more than just skin deep look at things. Like, gee, it's great. Why don't you buy it? Well, maybe it's the right one. Maybe it's not. Let's find out. I do hope you really like this decor, though, because it's all they offer. They do not offer anything else. But overall, to me, it reads very light. I kind of like it. I'm really not picky, though, when it comes to decor things. It's very rare I walk in something and go, I don't like the way that looks. But here's what's kind of wild. If you're looking at this, they really gussied this up nicely. You've got that full-on, a nicely sized theater seat with that center console. But you see how you have these little, stands on either side. These are sealed edge press membrane countertops, just like everything else. Coachman actually owned the company that made those, which is why, they've been doing it longer than anyone. It's weird to me, and I don't know what's going on the other side. This is wide open, and I look at that, and I'm like, I wonder if I could stuff some TV trays or something in there. Like, what would you slot or pocket in that? I'm kind of curious. And then I look over here, and I see outlets, which is sweet. Little sweet, loving the outlets. Dr. Pepper. Anyway, but it's paneled off at the bottom. I really wish I knew what was under there, and I actually might one time grab a screwdriver and find out, but not right now. But I'm looking at this, and I realized with those side stands, that's an extra wide U-dinette slide. That means that this has enough space for a U-dinette it is possible that you could get this configured a number of different ways. Now, Apex varies. It's almost like Coachman's version of a Jayco J-Feather, and I don't want to say version because that sounds copied, but Jayco's J-Feather and the Coachman Apex butt heads in a lot of spaces. They really overlap pretty hard. They're an awesome head-to-head comparison. They both use things like that that more powerful 14,500 BTU Furrion air conditioner, by the way, standard. So you don't have to worry about upgrading to like the big air, the small air, the whatever. Now, if you're looking over here, you're like, whoa, what is going on with the bed? And if you watch the beginning of the video, I pretty much already spoiled that surprise for you. But hey, you know what? I gotta say something to fill the time while I'm panning the camera slowly to not make you motion sick, right? Now, when that TV sticks out, you know, it faces the theater seating very nicely. You can also pivot it the other way to be able to watch TV in bed, but not when the privacy curtain is drawn. Although it's kind of just I'm gonna call it like a silhouette curtain, because as you're looking, this is definitely capable of a little bit of, yeah, well, I don't know. I guess it kind of fits with what I'm thinking. A little bit of shadow puppet theater. But this is like a cousin to the Coachman, sometimes called Spirit or Freedom Spirit or Northern Spirit. That brand seems to have like a multiple personality disorder over the last couple years, but they're finding their thing, I suppose. But they came up with this like just ultra vaulted mega bed storage. Not every Apex Ultralight has this. They haven't been able to go through and like backfill their lineup yet, but effectively any of their newer floor plans have it, which I'm excited to see. Now, when you get the bed out of the way, you notice how both side stands, nice big side stands there, very super CPAP friendly, or just a place for a phone charger, a little desk fan, like a little mini fan, you know? You can have air blowing just right in your face, you know? Something I enjoy, frankly. I like to have that little fan white noise and air blowing on me at night, and then I try to sleep under too many blankets and I sweat, then I pull my face out. You don't care. I don't even know I'm getting at it. But household and USB outlets on both sides. Plus, you see over here, you've got basically, you know, a build, like this is your dresser storage, but you've got a pocket down here you could use for things like a laundry basket. This pet pad right here is perfectly sized to go down under that. That could be like a little dog kennel, maybe a little cat litter box or something like that. Then over here, what you have is like, you know, open face storage. And where that pet pad is sitting, that is actually designed intentionally to be a seat. That is extra reinforced, so if you want to sit on it and be able to do stuff, you could do... Ooh, I just had an idea. Let me see if this works. It does! It does work! So this camper comes with this floating table right here. You could, like, this could be a little mini mobile office, because during the day you probably don't need the bed, so you could get the bed out the way. You can say, move, bed, get out the way. And you could have your own little station going on here. You have power outlets, there's power outlets over there off the theater seat. There's outlets all over the place. You're not interfering with the entertainment to the theater seat. You could slide this around, you could move it around however you needed to. You could slide it out of the way. This, holy crap! Holy crap, Batman! This totally changes the floor plan for me. This is awesome! Plus, I mean, with the privacy curtain, as long as you don't mind putting on a little bit of a risque show, you could always change your clothes in here. And then again, you've also just got a private bathroom, probably a little more suited for that. Although, there are several clothing optional resorts, especially here around southern Michigan where I'm at, that I don't know that people even need the privacy curtain. But what do you do with the table when you're traveling, right? Well, thankfully, they thought of that. I'm gonna give them some serious marks. They included this little strap, basically, that goes across the bed. You can lock that sucker down in place when you're traveling, so it's not sliding all over the camper. You don't got to worry about eating up your pass-through storage. And like I said, we do have a theater seat here, and since it's a larger one, we also have that handy center console area. And I'm just kind of laughing. I'm thinking of my grandfather. Grew up camping with my grandpa and my grandma. He was always saying stuff like, ooh, we could keep our bait in there. And my grandmother would like just lose her mind as though he was actually going to keep his bait in the sofa. Although, knowing my grandpa, I mean, maybe. Yeah, and you know, the more stories I tell you about my family, I think the more
things start to make sense about me. Another just, this is kind of, if you wake up in the morning, you're on the campsite of the RV, here's where you're going to be at. Apex does an excellent, their cabinet shop is fantastic. The fit and the finish, I love all the radius work instead of all the sharp corners. And if you are sitting over here, notice how it's like, it's a big chunk of countertop and I'm running into the wall over here. Apologies if the camera lurches around on me. It's you're not fighting for elbow space. Now, I try to be full transparency wherever I can. If you're in the theater seating and there's a big person like me sitting at one of those stools, then yes, you may kind of be in the way of the television. It's a small camper with big features all stacked up on top of one another, and sometimes they're going to overlap a little bit, and that's kind of one of the things that we're running into there. I tell you what else, though. There's something about this layout. Even the smaller versions of this in something like a Geo Pro, E Pro, but especially once you get up here into the 8-wide campers, the total storage in here is fantastic. The kitchen storage is amazing. And what they did in the bedroom rocks, obviously. By the way, you have a choice. There's a 12-volt DC compressor fridge that we just looked at. There's also an option for a gas-electric two-way. Now, there's a lot of things I think they just really nailed on this camper. And then there's this. I don't dislike it. I'm just very confused by it. Like, it's a big, giant pantry space, except, like, the shelves stop. And I thought, okay, well, it must be like a closet, right? Well, no. There's no hanging rack in this. If you are somebody that works at Coachman, or if you're someone who's smarter than me, can you please explain to me why? Like, what is this? Like, I guess I'm not putting it together. I'm not picking up what you're putting down, and some assistance would be appreciated. But anywhere that you got kitchen countertop in this, basically, you have yourself some sweet storage space. And you might notice how that does go around the corner quite a bit. You're going to want to keep that in mind. They didn't waste the space, but it does get deep, and it can be a little bit difficult to potentially reach back there. And for whatever reason, I'm just feeling extra froggy today. I figured I'd shove myself in there. Let you see how much space is in there. I don't know how it's going to help, but I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm getting out, but it's pretty big in here. It's dark. I'm kind of scared. Something's touching me! I'm an idiot. Because, had I thought about it, I would have realized they actually gave us 2 doors to get back to that cabinetry. And you might still need to do some reaching, but maybe it's a little easier than it appeared at first glance. Anyway, triple drawers over here, down under the sink. They're a little low. They start at about knee high and go down, but they are what they are. Great counter space in this one again. That's one of the things I love about this camper. And looking at it straight on like this, you see some easy reach household outlets right there, perfect for the kitchen and little, phone charger station or device charger or whatever. I like that they gave us that countertop flip-up extension. I've had a lot of people recently saying, why don't manufacturers make those line up flush with the countertop? And if I'm going to be real, and I'm going to be candid with you, I don't know this for a fact, but what I suspect is probably the answer is because not being countertop flush allows the factory employees to put stuff not exactly dead perfect every single time. That's a guess, but it kind of makes sense. This camper, by the way, 6.5 foot tall inside. So if you're, 6'1" and above, like I am, you're going to need to probably have your head in the bubble. It is a radius shower. I like the extra linen space or toiletry space or whatever you have over here. And it's also got things like a basic vent fan. It has things like a normal plastic toilet. They have a fully functional, fully equipped bathroom. Now, if you wanted a porcelain toilet, if you wanted a bigger fan, those are some upgrades that aren't really difficult that we can assist you with. So they've done all the things that really matter. And again, that's where I say Apex is simple where it should be, and fancy where it could be. I always screw that up. I gotta quit saying that, but it feels right. All right, so walking out of the bathroom and using my Jedi brain powers, I have closed the slide out. I also may have just pushed the button and that seemed to do the trick, but you get the idea. I want to take you on a walk through road mode. What I was worried about with this one is that countertop. Man, countertop and big deep slide to give you a nice theater seat. They really boss up the place. And what I'm wondering is if I can do the travel trailer two-step to scoot my way past here. I'm wearing big boots. They're getting hung up on everything. But, yeah, I can do it. Now, that being said, I want to give you an extreme caution on something I just did so you don't break your camper. When you scoot through here, like I just did, you want to make sure you are as, like almost pushing down on the kitchen countertop as much as possible. You don't want to put a bunch of weight down inside the slide out and stomp all over it when it's retracted like that. You're probably not going to break it unless you just really jackhammer the sucker. You don't do the hacksaw Jim Duggan atomic leg drop on this thing or anything like that. But most slide outs, when they're how did I turn like I live across the pond all of a sudden? Can I get an update? Anyway, most slide outs with my American voice are not made to be used and occupied when the slides are retracted. I've been a stickler about that lately because for years I wasn't very good about explaining that, and I just kind of realized I might be the cause for somebody to bust up their RV, and I don't want to have that happen. I've never claimed to be perfect. I've never claimed to be without sin, but I always want to try to do my best to keep you on the road. And showing you stuff like that in road mode, all the different things, if you appreciate all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button or leave me a note that says, man, I appreciate it. And again, tell me what you like, tell me what you dislike as we go. Let's hop outside and see what else we can scare up. Now, something I think is pretty cool and exciting on these, you see all these lights running right now? This RV is not plugged in. I do have a battery on the tongue. It's not turned on. I've got a disconnect kill switch on it. All the lighting that we've been seeing inside this RV has actually been provided by Mother Nature. I swear. You know what? Why? Solar still feels like magic to me. It's lightning from the sun? How does that even work? What manner of sorcery is this? Now I tell you what, I give Apex some credit for seriously facelifting themselves from years past. I never disliked how they look. I think that this, it just looks a lot sharper and more modern. They've standardized the windshield in that nose cap for a couple years now. And although that creates a giant thermal hole in the front wall, that's the kind of plus minus info I want to give you. You know, if you're camping and that thing's facing the sun, it's going to act like a magnifying glass above your bed. But remember, it has that privacy shade, and you can always shove something like a pillow up there if need be. But good gravy, the hood ornament effect it gives you, it looks killer, buddy. And I can't help it. I'm such a nerd. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Every time I see that little A graphic down there, I start thinking of Stark Tower and the Avengers. I'm a dork like that. I'm a super dork like that. Now up front here, power tongue jack does the heavy lifting for us. 20-pound propane tanks, easier to swap out on a Sunday, but less capacity versus 30. So again, plus minus. The tongue-mounted spare tire. What do you think about this? The idea behind it is it leaves the rear wall open if somebody wanted to add accessories like a bike rack, even though the lawyers say, nope, you can't do that. It's not going to be good for your warranty. Corporate McStuffy pants, as it were, likes to get involved there. The fact is the factory people intentionally did that in case you wanted to put a bike rack on the back. Now look at somebody's legs walking through there. Hey, how you doing? But the baggage compartment here. Look at the fact it's fully finished off and really like aggressively sealed, that nice big automotive bulb seal. Plus magnet holdbacks, slam latches, making everything a little bit easier to get into and out of. The one hiccup here, as compared to years past with Apex, because it has that giant front cool lifted bed situation, it does mean that we have unfortunately lost a little bit of storage in here as a result, but I think you could still do plenty with it. I mean, look at this. Hey, you can fit like 4 or 5 bodies in here. I don't know, not for nothing. I mean, case in point, I can still climb in here. I mean, who else does this for you? I don't know how I'm getting out, but I know I can get in. So again, just to give you a reference point for the sizing, right there, right now. Oh yeah, construction. Let's talk construction. So this is, it seems like a increasingly small number of brands are still utilizing what I would call like classic true ultralight construction, where
basically everything is laminated, and the only part of this RV that is not laminated is the nose, because you've got that cap on there, and it's too aggressive of an arch to effectively laminate. Now, I want to criticize them for half a second and say, well, why isn't the awning bigger and further forward? Well, I'm looking at it, and because they gave us a nice bedside window and a big baggage door, well, they couldn't really give us a bigger awning arm. But at the same time, when I slide over here, I don't know that that's not enough awning space. And the door for the awning, it's a little close to the awning arm, so if it's raining, yeah, you might get a little spritz in the face, but it's far enough away it might not be that bad. Outside speakers, up a little high, but at least they're downward dog angled over here. I will tell you, they don't do anything special, fancy, fantastic like with their suspension stuff on this, but again, it's only 26 feet. It's lightweight. I feel, personally, this is something that is well suited to a lot of half-ton towing. Now, that being said, it occurs to me as I'm running my mouth, I didn't double-check the hitch weight on this one. Somebody verify that for me. It's, if I got ahead of myself, apologies. I always want to put safety before the sale. Now, one big glaring negative against these for a lot of folks is that they have no ladder option, nor are they prepped for a ladder from the factory. They do, however, still have a walkable roof, so you can kind of keep that in mind. Just sort of one of those give and get kind of things that you get along with them. Now let's get over here. The black tank flush, outside shower, all right over here next to the Stinky Slinky hookup center. And you've got some nice ground clearance above that. And actually, I think the nose was leveled a little high. Well, not leveled if it's not level, but you get the idea. Whatever. Really rough textured slide walls over here. Grabbing these wiper seals to make sure you don't have water penetration, and they're using that. Coachman does a lot of this, that T-shaped wiper seal job right there. Plus, of course, the double seal and then the bulb on the inside or outside. And again, tinted windows. They all open for airflow. There's a lot of good going on with this thing, I think. I'm not gonna lie though. When I was sliding out of that baggage compartment, I ground hard against that baggage door frame. Don't climb in there. That was dumb. Don't do that. So thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, let me know where you think they crushed it, where you think they could improve a little bit, and if I can see a consistent trend and some input, I'll make sure I get that relayed out to the factory. Now, in the meantime, remember, we don't do hidden fees at Bish's RV. Doesn't matter which of our locations you're choosing to shop with. We're easy. We're still family owned. We're just a big family owned place. So when you're ready, folks, we're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and best wishes from Bish's, everyone.